This video is a mixture of liquor, electricity, and black magic. Hey YouTube, I'm EJ, and today I want to be talking about wiring two humbuckers, Seymour Duncan humbuckers, into a guitar. But more importantly, I want to talk about this bad wiring diagram from Seymour Duncan. Seymour Duncan, y'all need to fix this. Y'all need to fix this. So I bought from my Ibanez RG7420 7-string guitar. I've got a mess here. I bought a set of Seymour Duncan pickups, a Pegasus and a Sentient for my second 7-string. Really excited to hear what they sound like. And I wired them in according to this. And it was right. I triple checked it and it worked. It sounded pretty good actually. But how many of you expect a certain performance from your guitar? Say this is your selector switch. You've got your guitar in your lap. You pull the switch back. You expect the bridge pickup. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? You go to position 2. This is a 5-way switch. You expect the north coil on the bridge pickup as a single coil. You go to the middle position. You expect the south coil on the neck pickup and the north coil on the bridge pickup to make your change in tones in your pickup selection. You go to the 4th position. You expect just the bottom coil of the neck pickup. And then you go to the final neck position, you expect the neck humbucker to play. And that's where you get some nice, creamy rhythm tones. That diagram did not do that. I'll show you some footage. I'll cut to some footage and show you exactly what it did do. Got some issues here. I scrutinized this. I got it from Seymour Duncan's website. It ain't no good. Seymour Duncan fixed this. All right. I want to talk about this switch because this is everything. This whole situation forced me to learn not how to follow a wiring diagram, but how the electronics in an electric guitar work, including the output jack, the tone pot and capacitor, the volume knob, the selector switch, in this case a 5-way selector switch, Strat style, and how the pickups work. And now I'm referring to Seymour Duncan color code as far as pickup wiring goes. However, I did learn it. Thank God. Now I know exactly how to wire this thing, and I don't even need a wiring diagram. It's really all about this switch. The wiring doesn't change. Once you solder all your wires into place, it does not change. And I'm gonna try to get you a close-up view of this selector switch. So let me switch camera angles. All right, so this is a 5-way selector switch. When you're working on it, it's gonna be upside down, all right? And so what you're gonna want what I want you to see, first of all, you see there's 4 pole pieces here, and there's 4 pole pieces here. They are virtually identical, but they are completely separate from one another. Now, some diagrams will have you connect them, but the point is they are completely separate from one another. But what I want you to see, if this was right side up, this is the bridge position. Position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-position switch. This is a CRL switch made in the United States. So in position 1, the bridge position, hopefully you can see this, there's a metal contact that contacts this pole piece. Then there's a thinner metal piece that contacts this piece. This is called common. 1, 2, 3, common. Flip it around, it's like a mirror image. You have 1, 2, 3 common. If you switched it back here, your common is going to be here, your common is going to be here. But on this side, you have 1, 2, 3 common. You have 3 contacting this plate right here, and then this slider, which actually keeps common in contact with all 3 pole positions like that. That's critical because that's how you switch up the functions of the pickups and how the electricity is going to be routed through the pickup to give the performance that you expect. So with that said, let me show you this mess. Okay, let's not ever look at this again. All right, so now I want to share with you what I learned through this process of using a bogus wiring schematic from Seymour Duncan. All right, so I'm ready. All right, so I'm going to commence to draw this circuit. So what I'll start off with is up here, that's going to be my selector switch, and I'm going to start off with it in the bridge position. So I'll draw a schematic value of that. You have your pole pieces here, 1, 2, 3, common. And then on the other side, you have 1, 2, 3, common. That's the bottom side of the selector switch. 1, 2, 3, common. 1, 2, 3, common. Okay? And then you're going to have your output jack. And you have two portions of that. That's the sleeve, which is the ground. That's the board in between, and that's your hot part that the tip contacts. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw the pickups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these are Seymour Duncan 4-wire plus a ground. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my wires on here. Then that's the ground. Same here. Ground. And they're color coded like this. This is the north start winding, which is the winding goes through, wraps around, and then comes out here. And it is black, BK. The finish winding on the north coil is white. The start winding, or the finish winding on the south coil, is red. They're opposite polarity. That's what causes the hum canceling. And then the start wire on the south coil is green. And it's the same on both pickups. Black, white, red, green. And then you have your ground on both of them. And then you have your pots. So you got a volume, 3 lugs, tone, 3 lugs, and I'm going to go ahead and draw in the capacitor. Now the wiring diagram, the Seymour Duncan wiring diagram, had the capacitor going to the wrong lug. So I'm going to come out here. This is my capacitor, and I'm using a Mojo Tone Vitamin T. I can't remember the value of it. And that's going to solder right to the case, which is ground. Okay? So this is the basic setup of the components within an electric guitar. Here's your output jack, ground, hot tip, volume pot, tone pot with capacitor, 5-way switch, 2 humbuckers. And I want this to function where in position 1 is the bridge pickup, position 2 is the north coil on the bridge pickup, position 3 is the north coil and the south coil on the neck pickup, position 4 is only the south pickup on the neck pickup, and then position 5 will be the entire bridge humbucker. So once the wires are installed, nothing changes. That doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the switch, how it routes the electricity through. So let's go ahead and wire this in. So first of all, I'm going to connect my tip, my hot tip, to this middle lug on the volume pickup. Now let me explain this real quick. You have 3 lugs. The center one is the wiper. So think of it as there's a needle in here that sweeps inside this edge, and this edge has a resistant material that creates, when you, this is say this is the lug that goes out for your hot, passes through here. If you have the needle turned all the way to this lug, there's no resistance and it goes straight through. But if you turn it all the way the other way, which this is typically grounded to case, that mutes the pickup because it's a direct short, and the current just goes straight to that through the needle, through the resistance material. So that's how that works. That's how the volume pot works. So that's what I wired in first. This is grounded to case, so it'll mute the pickup or mute the signal. And then from the tone knob, I've got a wire going from here to here. All right. And then from this lug, we're going to come around and we're going to go straight to that common right there. That's your hot lead right there. All right. Next, I'm going to go ahead and send a ground wire from this pot to that pot. So they're connected, they're grounded. Also, you got to keep in mind, you got a bridge on here. On the inside of the guitar, it's going to have a wire going from connecting the bridge, actually the claw that the spring's attached to, and it's going to come to ground. And I'm going to run that ground all the way over here to that volume pot. All right. Well, to keep all that together, I'm going to run a ground from here. That skips over that. That's going to ground there as well. All right, so there's my ground circuit. This wire is a ground wire. We know that already. So I'm going to go ahead and work that in there. Boom. Everything's going to connect right there on that pot. The green wire as well, coming off the bridge pickup, is also grounded. Just like that. Same thing here. I'm going to come around. Now you can have them kind of splayed around the pot, but for illustration purposes, that's how I'm doing it. And I'll take this green wire, come all the way around. It's going to the same ground point. Next, I'm going to have a wire coming off this. On the switch, you have A and B side. Well, I'm going to run a ground or a wire to this number 2 position right there. And there's a purpose for that. So we want our humbucker to work in the bridge position. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wire in this black wire right here to pole 1 on my 5-way selector switch. Now keep in mind, in the bridge position, only 1 in common and 3 in common are active in the bridge position. Let me double check that. So yeah, 1 in common, 3 in common. So the next thing I'm going to do is the white wire, which is the finish on the north coil, and the red wire, which is the finish on the south coil, and we're going to wire them in. So they're going to they're going to connect together. All right. And so I'm just going to draw it as one wire. I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to come around and we're going to go directly to number 3. All right. So essentially your bridge pickup is completely wired in. All right. So how does this work? So how this works is this is your output. That's the hot wire coming in. And you can trace the voltage. It's going to go up in here into the pot, and it's going to come down through this lug here because this lug's grounded. And we have it turned all the way up, so it's going to come through here, and it's going to travel up here to common, and this is connected. It's not connected to this side, it's connected to this side, and it goes straight into number 1, which is going to come down here to the start winding, the black wire on the pickup. So it's going to travel through the pickup and come out the white wire. Then it's going to loop back around through the red wire and go through the south coil. Then it's going to go to the green, and it's going to come around, and it's going to ground. And that ground is connected to the sleeve that completes the circuit. So what is this wire doing here that's connected to pole 3 on the B side of your selector switch? Well, nothing, because if you notice, common is not connected to anything. It's not doing anything. So it's going to take the path of least resistance. There's nowhere to go there, so it just loops through, and you have a humbucking pickup. So what about the tone knob? All right, so we have one wire coming here, and this is a phenomenon of electricity. What the capacitor does is it filters out, or it bleeds off, I should say, high frequencies. So you have a dial in there, a resistant dial in there as well, just like the volume. They're identical pots. We just have this capacitor on here. So what happens is, as the frequency is coming through the guitar or through your pickups to go to your amplifier, the high frequencies, as this dial is turned, are bled off by this capacitor, and they're directly short of the ground. So essentially, the more you increase the voltage or increase the opening to the capacitor, as you turn the knob towards the capacitor, the more it bleeds the high frequencies off. So when you've got this wiper pegged out on this lug, all your high frequencies are grounding out. So they never make it to your amplifier, and that's why you get a dark tone when you turn the tone knob all the way down. So that's it. It's wired in. Well, we haven't wired in the neck pickup. All right, let's wire in the neck pickup real quick. All right, so let's wire in this neck pickup. The finish wire on the north coil of the neck pickup, which is white, and the finish wire on the south coil of the pickup, which is red, are going to come together just like they did on the bridge pickup. And we're going to route those around. Let's just skip over that. Make that illustration of skipping over, skip over, skip over, and we're going to go directly to lug number 1 on the selector switch. Then the black wire, we're going to route jump, jump, jump. We're going to take it to number 3. So now the bridge is wired in. I'm sure this makes perfect sense. I mean, that's the volume knob, and that's the tone. 5-way made in USA switch, Strat style. Yeah, right there. Right there. Okay. So let me retrace my path here. Maybe y'all can see it better if I put it back here. Get that glare off of it. Output. This is your guitar cable. Something like that. The tip touches this. The sleeve touches the base of the cable. This is the sleeve. So your voltage is coming in here through your volume pot around here. High frequencies will be bled off through here, but we have it all the way this way, so we're getting full contact through coming through here. Goes into common, travels through this switch, number 1, into the top coil, top wire of the pickup, comes out. That goes nowhere, loops around, comes around this coil, goes to the green, comes around the ground, which ground is connected to the sleeve of the output jack. That's the circuit. That's your humbucker. Bridge position. All right. So we've wired in the neck pickup. Let's see what happens. Let's erase these. Okay, let's go to position 2. All right. What happens in position 2? We expect only this pickup to work. So I have another diagram here. So in position 2, on the A side of this, which is this side, 1, 2, and common are engaged when you have the selector switch in position 2. And on the B side, 2, 3, and common. So let's move the selector switch to position 2. What happens there? We expect only this top coil to sound. So again, you got your guitar plugged in, voltage is being sent through here, going through here, up through common, into the north wire, or the start wire of the north pole pickup, north coil of the bridge pickup, comes around, comes out the red wire, it's connected to, comes out the white wire, it's connected to the red wire, comes around and goes to here. So we have common, 2, and 3 activated. Well, common goes nowhere, but look at this. 2 goes to ground and goes to here. So what happened is that instead of voltage coming through this coil, it's going to take the path of least resistance, which is pole 2, which is when you have this in position 2, on your B side, pole 2, pole 3, and common are engaged. So it goes directly to ground, out to the sleeve. So only the north coil on the bridge pickup sounds. Path of least resistance. It's a phenomenon of electricity. So when I was working this out, I didn't think it through far enough. So I got to position 3 here. And in position 3, on the A side, we have 2 and common are engaged. And the same thing on the B side. 2 and common. So if we trace the circuit, hot tip from here through the volume pot, common, 2, nobody's home. That's it. So position 3, with the way I've got this wired, will not work. It'll do nothing, which could be a good thing. Position 1, full bridge. Position 2, single coil. Position 3, nada. Position 4, you'll have a coil split. And then position 5, full neck. So you could leave it like that as a 4-position switch with a kill switch in the middle. Or we could do this. And this is untested. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go wire this up. Because the wiring diagram from Seymour Duncan was trash. Seymour Duncan, fix your wiring diagram. So what I could do is from number 2 here, run a jumper down here to number 1, and then another jumper here to number 3. Why would I do that? Because I'm trying to achieve a goal, and the goal is to activate 2 of these coils here. The south coil of the neck, the north coil of the bridge. So if we have this jumper here, let's trace the circuit and see exactly what happens. Coming here through the volume pot, up through common, hits 2, comes over here to lug 1, and then it jumpers in lug 1, so we've got electricity there, it's going to come right here, and it's going to this coil. Well, there's nobody home on this black wire coming out of the Seymour Duncan pickup, so it'll go through here into ground, so it activate that coil. But we have a jumper here, and it'll go through down here. Nobody's home on this black wire, route through that coil to ground. So it will, in essence, it will activate the south coils on the neck and the bridge pickup. But what effect does that have on the other positions? I don't know. I don't know. So let's go to position 4. What's activated in position 4? In position 4, we have 2 in common and 3 is activated. And on the B side, we have 1, 2 in common. We got jumper wires in here. trace the circuit through the volume pot into common, out to 3, hits the neck pickup, comes around here, and we've got voltage present here. That voltage would have to travel up through here, perhaps, well, it's not going to go anywhere here because there's nobody home on the number 2 lug. So it could come through here and go down through here. There's nobody home on this one, so it could potentially activate that coil. But it'll come in through here and it could activate that coil. So what could happen is it could have full neck and the north coil on the south coil on the bridge pickup. I don't think that's what's going to happen. Come through here, goes through here, activates that pickup. It's got voltage on this on both sides. It's not going to follow that path. I'm thinking it's just going to run the neck pickup. However, we do have voltage coming down the jumper through here, coming down into the bridge pickup, and it could very well activate the south pole of the bridge pickup. So you'd have full neck and a single coil here, potentially. So in position 5, we have common and pole 3 activated on the A side, and then common and pole 1 on the B side engaged. So voltage comes through, goes through the volume pot, comes into common, comes out here, winds through the neck pickup, and presumably to ground, fully activating the neck pickup. However, when the voltage hits here, it could potentially travel here, go into 1 here, and through the jumper, come through here and activate the south coil on here, potentially. I don't think it would. Electricity is going to follow the path of least resistance. I think that's going to be a higher resistance path than simply just activating the neck pickup. I don't know. So with this simple Strat style 5-way switch, we could either make position 3 a kill switch or see what happens with jumpers. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do. I may try it out. It's easy enough to solder those jumpers on, see what happens. But then again, I may just be happy with the configuration, with the 4-position configuration, and using number 3 as a potential kill switch. We'll find out.
All right, there you have it. Liquor, electricity, and black magic. So I have a CRL Main USA 5A switch, 5-way switch, 2 Dunlop Super Pots, a Mojo Tone Vitamin T capacitor, and that's it. Oh, and I did install new wire to my barrel jack. So here goes nothing. I opted not to put the jumper wires on it because I don't want the kill switch. So let's see how this rascal sounds. All right, I got it all wired up. I got it plugged in. It actually works. I didn't put the jumper wires, so I have a kill switch in position 3, which is actually pretty cool. And so I'm just gonna go through I got a heavy distortion on here. I'm using a Bosch GT1 effects processor, and I'm going through a Zoom R24 into a iRig Duo, and into the phone that's actually recording the video. And I'm just going to I have it in the bridge position, and I'll just hit a couple of licks, and I'll turn through the tone knob so you can hear the difference. Then I'll go through each position. Tone all the way down. Going halfway up with it. Let's see, it's all the way halfway. All the way back up. Second position. So that's the north coil on the bridge pickup. Take the tone all the way down. Remember, I'm using a Mojo Tone Vitamin T capacitor. Kill switch. Position 3 is a kill. Position 4, tones all the way up. Tone all the way down. Tone back up. Neck, that's full neck. The position 4 was the south pole or south pickup on the, south pole on the neck pickup. And here's the full neck. Turn the tone down. Oh man, got a little bit of a buzz. But you get the point. I'm not here to perform. I'm here to show you that my fucking wiring diagram my wiring diagram worked. Okay guys, so Seymour Duncan Pegasus Sentient Super Dunlop Super Pots CRL 5-way switch made in the USA, Mojo vitamin T capacitor. And I did my own custom wiring diagram because there's nothing on the freaking internet for that wiring diagram. I wanted position 3 to work as well, but it just won't unless I try those jumpers, and that's a complete experiment. I don't know if it'll work or not. But the surprise, serendipity, baby! The surprise was I get a kill switch. Yeah. So there you have it. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video. Seymour Duncan, fix your damn wiring diagram. And that's going to be my latest installment. Peace out.